Hello and welcome back to Swinging at Shins, fresh off the international break. I enjoyed my break week. Enjoyed my break week.
You injured.
I might need another one already. I might have injured my break week. I'm one of those guys who recharges by seeing a bunch of people, so I was as tired on Sunday evening as I've ever been, but I also feel better mentally somehow. It's odd.
Yeah, fun.
Anyway, this is not a podcast about my life. This is a podcast about the Prem, and the Prem has come back hot and heavy. Things that happened during the international break. Conte was shown the door. It was by mutual consent. I think we knew he didn't want to be there.
No, I wouldn't. That would mean the way he set up that last interview, it was, peace out, everybody, I'm going.
Oh yeah, no, he was trying to get fired. There's no doubt about that. And then when we got back into it, what a week we had. First of all, Saturday morning, City, Liverpool.
It was a good match for the first half.
Yeah, that second half was dire though.
Yeah.
That was bad. That was bad. There's leagues of differences between them.
Mm-hmm.
Bad. Mitrovic gets his penalty, which is 8 games. We're going to talk about that coming up. Leeds, and this isn't just about Leeds. Every time you think, all right, a team doesn't have it, this is the team that's going down. Every time that happens, they get a win. Leeds, big win over Forest. They went down early in that game, too.
Yes, they did. 11 minutes in.
Arsenal sees Man City's 4-1 victory and follows it up with a 4-1 of their own against Leeds. Leeds has played twice since the last time we got to talk.
Yep. Handful of teams who have.
Everton has held Spurs to a 1-1 draw after Lucas Moura picked up a red card in the 88th minute. Mm-hmm. And then Michael Keane does his best Michael Owen impression. It was an absolute banger.
Yeah.
West Ham picked up a huge 3 points against Southampton, and Newcastle looked great against a very lackluster United. For what it's worth, right now, as we record, Newcastle is up 3-1 now on West Ham in the 46th minute. Literally, as I was talking, I watched the goal go in. And United are up 1-0 on Brentford at Old Trafford. Let's see if that happens. Let's see if that stays.
I'd like to see Brentford pull a point at least. I mean, honestly, maybe from a Villa standpoint, maybe not so much. But
I was going to say, from a Villa standpoint, you don't.
But from I don't want to see Man U win.
Well, yeah, you probably want minimum points from both if you're going to continue walking up the table.
Yes.
I don't really care. I mean, I like that United's winning right now because this knocks Tottenham out of the top 4.
Mm-hmm.
But that's neither here nor there. What we do need to talk about is at the Bridge on a very nice Saturday afternoon in upstate New York. Mm-hmm. We got to watch Villa 2, Chelsea 0.
Yep. It's fantastic. It was cool. It was fantastic.
It was cool. When you get the Bridge is awesome.
Oh, hell yeah, because everybody's depressed, except for the away stand.
Well, and it used to be such a, fortress.
True. Yeah, that game definitely was a lot of built-up anticipation that Chelsea would score, and it just never came. I think Chelsea have completely forgotten how to score. I would agree with that. They only know how to score goals if they're disallowed. Because that happened twice.
We're going to talk about it. Yeah, we're going to talk about it a little bit more when we get in the Liverpool match. Yeah. But I want to talk about not so much the Villa match, because if you want more Villa, you need to go to our parent channel, Wicked Good Sports, where this guy has the Villa, and I'm sure he talked a lot about that there.
I definitely did. So
I want to talk about what happened after.
Yes, please.
Where Graham Potter was, okay, bye-bye.
Yep.
Shown the door.
Yep.
Get out of here.
Yep.
Someone brought up an interesting point. I heard it on the TIFO podcast, but even he heard it from somewhere else, so I don't know where this originally came from. Sure. One of the reasons why they decided to sack him now was because for some reason, and they think it might have been a top of the table clause or a bottom of the table clause, because he fell below the bottom of the table, he does not get his full severance.
Yo.
No, he's walking around. He's walking out with I think $13 million in total. So not bad for 7 months of pretty honestly bad work.
Yeah.
But they don't have to pay him 50. 50 was getting thrown around a lot. It does not look like they're going to have to pay him 50. So it looks like it was a financial decision.
Well, I guess that's a good move at that point.
If
you're going to cut ties with money in mind.
Listen, yeah, I mean, and that's Todd Boehly does not seem to be the sports owner that people want him to be, but he is a businessman and he has a lot of money.
Yep.
And I think he knows what he's doing from a financial standpoint. We saw that with how they were skirting around FFP rules.
Yep. It definitely
still weren't buying what they needed to buy, but hey, they're not paying out the nose. I mean, I still think they are. I mean, Cucurella just looks like a completely average defender, and he cost 80 million pounds.
You think he's actually average? I think he's below.
Everyone's below now. I don't know if you've seen what the Athletic's been putting out. Guys had to change in the corridor outside. Yep. You had to sit on the ground during team meetings because there weren't enough seats.
Yeah, they had to move it to.
Is this Chelsea Football Club or is this an elementary school?
Yes. It's a bit of both.
That is insane to me. That is absolutely insane.
That shows you that they're bloated and, there's probably too much disgruntled people at that point.
There's definitely too many people.
I'd be pissed off if I'm sitting on the floor or I'm changing out in the hallway. I can't be with my teammates at that moment, or I'm not sitting in seats that are super comfy. Yeah, it's that doesn't breed.
Well, it's hard enough now to see, hey, am I going to get a shot at getting on the field?
Yeah.
When you don't even have a locker, you're just I guess I have the best seats in the house to watch because I'm not playing.
Yeah.
And then you never have any kind of cohesion with that. It's just what a mess. What an absolute mess. I still think he is. I think it's 50-50. I think a good manager or the right manager could have handled the situation a bit better.
Probably.
I think it's an incredibly bad hand to be dealt.
Yes.
But I think that I think Eric Ten Hag would have done much better.
I think that Potter was overall just the wrong person. And I'm going to steal a little bit from Carragher here because he actually is right with this one. And it was Potter from the start was wrong because Chelsea and Real Madrid are the two ruthless clubs with their managers. Every 2 to 3 years, they're getting a new manager and they're going to Champions League.
When you have a completely different owner in Chelsea, though, I think a lot of people thought that was going to change.
I think that's the way Todd Boehly wanted it to be. He wanted to have sustainability with a coach long term. But you also have to breed that with your fans. And the fans are they're also ruthless. They want to see if it's not going well, immediately gone. Forget about it. You don't get that chance.
No, and that is true. That is something to be said. Because Chelsea is very much a team that was a fine team, an okay team, before Abramovich bought them. And then after Abramovich bought them, it's just been the success.
Yeah.
And a lot of people over the last 20 years know nothing but success from Chelsea. A lot of Arsenal fans, a lot of Liverpool fans, they're used to, hey, there's ebbs and flows to this. Sometimes you're on top and sometimes you're awful. And Chelsea fans are just used to, they win. They're never this bad.
Sure.
They never seem to be this bad.
They haven't really had the true down year. And this is a true down year for them.
Now, all of this being said, one thing, I'm not defending Todd Boehly here. I'm defending Todd Boehly's firing of Graham Potter. I am not defending anything else he's done because I think everything else he's done has pretty much been a mess.
Yep.
I understand that you want to give a guy the right amount of time. And there are times when you think you're going to have it and you don't. There are times when you think you're going to have the guy that you want and you end up not having it. There are times when it looks like the golden thing. And the example I'm going to use is a manager that has managed both our teams now. Mm-hmm. Everyone's saying, look at how good Arteta's doing. I love Arteta. I sing his song. I tried to convince my wife, if we were having a boy, to have Mikel as the middle name. Like, don't get all of that.
You still do Arteta.
But the biggest thing that we have, the biggest increase, the biggest change that we've had is how our technical director is going after guys. Mm-hmm. We are going smart. We're able to pivot. We're able to do all these things at Arsenal Football Club now that we weren't doing before. And I'm saying that because I want to get rid of Unai. Unai is not what we need. We gave him 2.5 years. This isn't working out. We didn't even get the Europa back when, I didn't realize what it was like to not even have European football.
Spoils.
And now to see what Unai has done at Villa.
Yep.
I mean, 17th to 7th.
Yep.
They're ahead of Liverpool and Chelsea right now.
Magical.
They're ahead of Fulham.
Yep.
They're ahead of a lot of teams that were supposed to be doing well. They just won 2-0 at the Bridge, and anyone who watched that match, these are two teams going in completely different trajectories.
Yep. Absolutely.
Now, I am not saying that Unai could have Arsenal at 72 points through 30 matches, or 29 matches. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is I think that Arsenal would have been much better off if Unai – not much better off. I think that Arsenal would have been fine if Unai stayed. We wouldn't be as good as we are, but we would have been fine. That being said, with Graham Potter, he is just not the guy to run this football club the way you want to have this football club run. Your technical director, if you even have one, because it sounds like you just go for whoever anyone else wants to go for. But your technical director, your football director, your acquisition department, your scouting, your whatever, are not getting guys that Graham Potter has any idea what to do with.
Right.
You want a guy more like an Ancelotti who is just used to players come, players go, players whatever. I know how to slot the 11 best guys at any moment. I know how to have 11 very good individuals play well, as opposed to what Potter had at Brighton, where Brighton's here's all these magical guys that we keep finding that no one else seems to find somehow. Mm-hmm. They're all small town guys. They're all happy to get whatever minutes they get, figure out a way to work with them.
Yep.
So I think that Bowley is fine and fire him, even though, we're going to have a long-term manager. It's going to be a project. I don't know. I feel like everyone thinks I could have Chelsea in a better position than Potter has right now. No, that's probably not true.
It's like a one-up thing, yeah.
But you hand out, if you go to the beer garden and you hand out 10 lineups cards, just 10 blank lineup cards, and say, fill in Chelsea's 11 best players. Fill in their best 11.
Yep.
You're going to get 10 completely different cards back.
Pretty darn close. I would say maybe 2-3 match, but like even at that rate, to have so much, this I think kind of messes with the players, to have so much unsuredness that you're not in the squad all the time, it kind of kills the vibe. So now they don't have the confidence build up, which is what Kai Havertz's problem is. Also scoring is his problem. Along with his name just escaped me. Ukrainian, literally.
Mudryk.
Yeah, Mudryk. So all any of them other than Enzo, who's been getting
Mudryk with a horrible. I don't even want to call it an attempt.
It was more of a pass to Emmy than it was.
He literally passed it to Emmy. Yeah. It was so crazy.
Yeah.
Like if that was across the front of goal to try to hit a streaking runner, it would have been too soft.
Yeah.
So that's so weird.
It was
anyway.
bad.
That was awful. Anyway.
That's what's killing the mood for it's all mood here. They're moody people.
I mean, I look at this. I look at their squad. Assuming everyone's healthy. Reece James at right back.
Absolutely.
N'Golo Kante in the number 6 spot.
Or advancing, one of the two. He's starting. I'll just say that.
I don't know if you and I actually have any other true overlaps.
I'm starting Kante.
I mean, obviously, we established that.
Well, then I thought we said Enzo.
No, I said N'Golo Kante. I was starting N'Golo Kante in the number 6 row.
Okay, sorry. Yes, then that's it. My bad.
Yeah.
Then I'm still starting Enzo.
I probably do, but I don't feel that good about it.
Fair enough.
You know, and you like Mendy, right?
Yep. That's
all right. So that's probably it. I can't stand Kepa. I don't know if that's actually a football opinion or if that's just I don't like him opinion. But it's one of those two.
He's definitely actually both of them are very eccentric goalkeepers.
I start Chilwell over Cucurella.
I agree with that actually.
Okay. So hey man, you know what? Maybe there is common ground.
Actually, I start Fofana. Man, do you start Silva or Koulibaly?
Yes. I start Silva.
Yeah, I guess.
I start James, Koulibaly, Silva, and Chilwell. That's my defense.
If Fofana's ever healthy, I would do Fofana, Silva, Chilwell, James. So I guess that's where
Fofana's another one. I haven't been that impressed.
I liked him. First off, I'm going to spin real quick here. How the hell are Leicester having financial problems when they've sold big players like that for big money?
Because their financial problems are their owners' financial problems.
Oh, it's not actually stemming from selling players. Okay, fair enough.
So
back to this.
I'm gonna skip over the fact that we're gonna argue over midfielders for this Chelsea squad for days, and we're coming up on 20 minutes talking about Chelsea in the beginning.
Yep, that's fair.
So let's pivot real quick.
Yeah.
Chelsea's opponents.
Sure.
On the midweek match.
Mm-hmm.
We're Liverpool.
With Liverpool.
And nothing that you and I said or will say, we're going to talk about it, but nothing that you and I will say will be able to put a better spin on what we saw than the announcer. I think it was in like the 65th minute, and I don't even know who was announcing. Yeah. I was kind of watching it, kind of not. But the announcer just goes, you can clearly see why both these teams are where they are in the table.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Chelsea-Liverpool, and it is just a mid-table match. That's exactly what it looked like.
Yeah, it was. You look at the momentum for FOTMOB. There are some peaks for Chelsea just because they are actually good at building up play and putting good XGs on. And I know we don't really care for XGs because it's...
Well, actually, no, we haven't talked about this. We talked about XG a lot on this show. The past week and a half have been a real... It's been... Yeah. I think XG might actually be better match to match as opposed to over an entire season. Most of the time with stats like that, over an entire season is normally where you see the stats start to balance out. Mm-hmm. I think XG is a good component of how attacking were you? Okay. Or conversely, how well were you defended against?
Yep. Okay.
But you look at the XG map on that we shared in the messenger, and it is West Ham's like top of the table, like in the top half easily. Yeah, like it doesn't.
Man United was 9th or something like that.
Yeah, Man United was. Now, of course, Man United doesn't have the best goal difference.
It's true.
So that is somewhat fair. Here, I'm just going to pull it up real quick. But I would expect it. It doesn't have to line up at the table perfectly. Okay, so City has a better XG difference than Arsenal. Okay, that makes sense. Actual goal difference is really tight. They've scored one more and allowed one fewer. Mm-hmm. But you look at this, it's City, Arsenal, decent sized gap, Newcastle, Brighton, and then Tottenham and Liverpool are completely level. And then West Ham is above Brentford, Man United, and Chelsea, who are all top half.
Yeah.
And then Villa, Southampton, Leeds, Crystal Palace, and then, all the other ones kind of in the back. But Villa is way out of place. Southampton should be at the back of the line. Yeah. I mean, I guess no one should be behind Bournemouth because Bournemouth has just a disgustingly awful actual goal difference.
Yeah.
But none of this. Tottenham should be higher than Liverpool. West Ham should be higher than almost nobody. Like this actual expected goal difference over the entire season is it's good in the extremes.
Sure.
City and Arsenal are really good. Yes, congratulations. Bournemouth is really bad. Yes, congratulations. But the mid-table teams, it's like, this doesn't make any sense. United has not been world beaters. They've been good, and at times they've been very good. They battled really hard against Arsenal. They got again, with a goal that probably shouldn't have counted, got a victory against City. But to have them that close to Chelsea and behind West Ham makes no sense.
That West Ham one is crazy. But like I said because their shots on target are high when they hit the target, obviously. So that's I think that might be playing a part of the fact of why West Ham are so high up. They do take a ton of shots, and they do put a ton of shots on goal.
Does XG, and you may not know the answer to this, does XG take into consideration other players' positions on the field?
I believe it does. I believe it's other players, how the difficulty of how the ball was delivered, and there's like a few other things that XG balances into.
So going back to the match we were talking about, Chelsea-Liverpool, the XG was 2.1 for Chelsea. This is what you were about to say before we got on the whole XG conversation. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry about that.
No, you don't need to apologize. We're educating.
Yeah. Well, it was just one of those. I know that that's something that you and I had been talking about in the past week, but we hadn't actually said it on the pod.
Yeah.
And Liverpool had 0.35. I think that's fair from Liverpool. They looked bad. Salah was on the bench, but Liverpool just looked bad.
There was
I'm actually not, knock on wood, not that scared for Sunday right now, even though it is Anfield and we haven't won since 2012.
Anfield's one of those tough. Man United put in a second, I believe. Oh, just kidding. They're just decided to show a replay of Rashford's first goal. Happen to look up.
But anyway, Havertz had a 0.47 XG on a shot, and it was on a fast break, and that's fine. And it's like in the middle, right? So you're in the middle of the field. You're just off the penalty spot. You got no one but the goalie in front of you. Obviously, it's Alisson, so I think that should play a little bit of a part. But that's going to be different than if you get the ball in the exact same spot off a corner, and you got 7 defenders between you and the goal. I don't know if it actually takes that into account or not. If it doesn't, that might explain why everything is so far off from what we'd expect. And if it does, then I don't understand what's happening.
Because not understanding. XG is just one of those things that's like, it just gives another metric. That's really what it is. It's like, oh, well, we could have, but did you? That's kind of the.
Yeah, and baseball started this whole sabermetric thing, and the sabermetric thing really drove stats a lot, and everyone wants to have the next big sabermetric movement.
Yep.
The problem with that is baseball as a sport was misunderstood. Why you actually won games. Not completely misunderstood. I'm not saying it was random. But what actually separated a good player from a great player was not necessarily up to snuff. While something like soccer, it's not as simple as what you see is what you get. But a expected goal off a shot it's something that's harder to quantify than, hey, if we take their on base plus their slugging and then even that out over an entire season to find the and then compare towards the that's something you can actually do that you can quantify. Also, it's 162 games. It's 500 plus plate appearances. You're getting these huge numbers that you can quantify versus how many shots are you actually going to take during a match?
2-3 at best, but that's what the answer. Yeah, it's just
I think it's just not that good of a stat. I think that these are just not those good. These teams are not those good of a teams. I don't know why I can't say that the way I want to say it. Holy crap. Anyway, moving on. Bournemouth picked up a good win against Fulham.
Yeah, they did. That's Fulham.
It's like we were talking about earlier.
It's 3 losses in a row for Fulham.
Yeah, Fulham is diving. Fulham is finally hitting that
wall
break where they're just going back down. They're barely in the top half.
They'll definitely stay up. It's just
they will definitely stay up.
Now, that's all. It happens.
Well, they're also going to be missing their star striker for 8 matches.
Yeah, which isn't even the longest.
Kind of bold. Why didn't they just say 10 the rest of the season? Get him back for the last 2?
He did you're not supposed to hit. He didn't hit an official. He shoved an official. It's just not something you should do. I'm surprised they didn't use him as an example of hey, you players can't do this. And I'm interested to see, will they start handing out bans for crowding the official? I know they're fining, but will they take that extra step?
They're fining teams. And quite frankly, I don't think the teams actually care that much.
Well, so what if will the players care? I think some will, because some, they're not. Some players aren't making as much as other players, and they're gonna care how much money that they're gonna lose. But
so this is the thing that I don't understand about this entire. We talk about this. It's been happening a lot. Arsenal, for a stretch in the middle of the season, every time they play it, they got a fine.
That's true.
In the FA for doing something.
Good teams get fined.
United got fines.
Yep.
My issue with how do we discipline crowding the referee is the referee can discipline the way he wants. And in this match, it's exactly what the referee did. Mm-hmm. Silva was shown a card because he threw a bottle near the 4th official. And then Mitrovic was shown a straight red for shoving. And then if they want to do a follow-on suspension for what he did, because it was that egregious, that's fine. And for what it's worth, I don't have a problem with 8 games.
No, I think it's a fair amount. I am just surprised that the FA didn't go that step farther, that's all. Because it was a cup match, too. Literally a cup match with their name in it.
I agree with that, but to come back to the question of do we need to find players for crowding the referee? Players are going to stop crowding the referee when the referee starts pulling out cards. And until that happens, I don't care the amount. We're also of two minds. This is very much, it is the same thing that happened in a lot of other sports where we're just of two minds of, you really can't do that. And then they get punished for it. It's like, well, that wasn't really deserving of a yellow. And it's like, well, nothing else is going to stop them from doing it.
It's true.
It's just what it is. If anyone but the captain comes up and crowds, and I do think that there's a difference between being crowded and having a player talk to you.
Sure.
But that difference is going to be how the referee feels.
Of course.
And so much of this game is decided with how the referee feels anyway. Just let the referee pull out cards. The FA tells them, yeah, seriously. Honestly, right now, why not? The referee tells them, if you card somebody for crowding you, we have your back.
Yeah. I mean, they're not going to say, I don't think they'll say no to that. Nobody should say no to that. As far as
this is just, yeah,
because it's kind of getting embarrassing. And that's where I'm getting at this point. I hate every time there is a foul, a ref gets surrounded. And it's just so annoying to watch. It's like,
it definitely got worse this year, too.
What are you going to do? Yeah, it did. Like yes, if you want to argue your point, fine. But don't bring 6 or 7 other your teammates around them. What are they going to do? They weren't even involved.
The captain can go up to the referee and talk to him.
That's fine. I have no
problem. Hey, why wasn't that called on the other end? Why wasn't that called on the other end? He did that to our guy 20 minutes ago or whatever. It can be that conversation.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why you have the captain's armband.
Right.
And it's, again, come back to baseball on this. Players talk to refs players talk to umpires all the time.
Yes, they do. But
no one dares to touch an umpire.
Oh, God, no.
Because the second you touch an umpire, you're ejected, and that's it. You're done. You're out. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. If you yell at them too much, you're out. But you can turn around and be like, hey, is that really a strike? Is that not too low? Or, that kind of conversation can happen all the time.
Yeah.
But the ref needs to start pulling it out. And I guess my point in all this is the refs have the power to stop the thing. And everyone's like, what are we going to do? It's like the ref needs to do this and pull out a card, and then the problem's over. I don't understand. What do you mean? What are we going to do?
Maybe that's what they need to enforce next season is. I mean, as the union needs to.
The rules.
Yeah, whatever. The union needs to be like, hey, you have the power. Do it.
Yeah. That is one of those things. It happens a lot in all walks of everything where people go, man, I wonder what we need to change to do this. And it's like, well, we need new rules. And it's like, no, we need to follow the rules we have. Like, we have rules. The problem isn't that we don't have enough rules. We have too many rules. We just need to, follow up on the rules that we have and do the thing.
Yep.
All
right, where do we want to go? What are you feeling?
You know what? I don't know if I want to talk. I do want to talk about at least one other match. I was going to say I don't know if I want to talk about other matches because we got a lot of other fun stuff to talk about, but I do want to talk about one other match. Brighton and Brentford. That 3-3.
That was a super fun match.
How great is that?
Super fun match.
For those two teams, too.
Yeah.
My God, that is amazing. That is so much fun to watch.
Do you think that Brighton actually feels hard done that they didn't win this match? I'm assuming you saw this match. That's why I'm stating.
I'm gonna word it slightly differently.
Okay.
Because I think, do they feel hard done? I think if anyone plays a match like that, they're going to feel hard done that they didn't win it.
Sure. They also did come back all 3 times.
Yeah, and because you're talking, all right, let me just hear it, because Brighton and Brentford, I screw up all the time. You said, do I feel that Brighton was hard done?
Yes.
No, because you had the 90th minute to tie it. And that is a draw that will always feel like a win.
Okay.
Now, do I feel that Brighton was hard done to have not won this match? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They had like a 4.5 on XG, 72% of the possession, 500 passes to 150. There are two teams that play very differently.
Yes.
And I think that definitely needs to be said. The shot map is just, it's funny.
It's blue. It's
the shot map is hysterical.
Blue in the 18-yard box for against Brentford.
But that's two teams that play very differently. And for me, it's a lot like City versus Newcastle in the beginning of the season, which ended up 3-3 too.
Yeah.
Newcastle plays that fast break. We're going to get a couple chances to make the most of it. And City plays we're going to create all the chances. Mm-hmm. And some of them are going to go in.
Yep.
I also think this is another reason why XG is a bad indicator. If you took that many shots and you only scored 3, to a certain point, you really didn't deserve 4.5 goals. You know what I mean?
I mean, they did based off of stats, but it wasn't. They weren't good enough to sink those good shots.
All right, so let me word it this way. If City or Arsenal or even last year's Liverpool put up this Brighton performance, everyone would be talking about not having clinical finishing and just creating shots but never actually closing it out. And that's what the big teams are supposed to do and whatever.
Yeah.
And because it's Brighton, everyone's going, well, good for them. And they deserve to win it and all those things. And it's just, I feel like Brentford feels hard done that they didn't win this because they did everything they're supposed to. They weathered the storm. Mm-hmm. They took all those shots. They stopped a lot of them.
Brighton.
They weathered the storm, and then to the 90th minute, they were up 3-0.
Yeah.
3-2.
Yep.
They had done what they wanted to do. Brentford is never going to be a team that has a ton of passes in the opposition half. Mm-hmm. At least not this year.
That's just not the way they're built. They're going to counter on you with Mbuemo. Nope.
Mbuemo?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Thankfully, we haven't brought it up before. I've been saying the former Bayern manager's name wrong. It's Julian Nagelsmann or something.
Yeah.
I was saying more nay than nah, and I was definitely saying Julian. So.
Oh, I was definitely saying Julian too.
Wait. We'll have. We're not good with J's.
João Felix's name wrong too. He had said it was like Felix.
That is true.
He's like, even people in Portugal are saying it wrong. Like, your name says Felix.
How come everyone from Brazil can just go by Gabby and that's fine, but not everyone from Portugal just goes by João? They're all called João.
João 1, João 2, João 3. They all colonized from one João.
Seriously. The Albany Gooners have started calling them Fast Gabby, Big Gabby, and Gabby Crystal.
Mm-hmm. That's clever.
There was also, I don't know if you saw the meme, it was Ed, and Eddie, but it was Gab, and Gabby.
I didn't see that one. That's funny.
Anyway, great match. Somehow Ivan Toney's still playing and scoring goals.
I don't know if he'll ever get suspended at this point. And if he does,
at this point, I'm kind of forgetting. I like Welbeck playing well. I like him scoring goals.
It was nice to see him be involved in soccer in general, but it definitely was good to see him scoring.
All right, let's move on to the manager and players of the month.
Yes,
because we are into April now. Mm-hmm. By the way, for everyone saying, well, let's see if Arsenal's still top of the league in April, and then I'll start believing it. Where are you at?
Jump on that wagon now.
Because here we are. Manager of the month, the 4 nominees: Roberto De Zerbi, who some people would say was deserving, Unai Emery, and Pep Guardiola. Who do you think actually deserved this one?
I thought Arteta was also in this one.
I mean, Arteta won it. I'm sorry. I thought I said, excuse me, run my head back. In my head, I'd already said Arteta won. Arteta won this one. Okay. Arteta won manager of the month.
You could have, and I just might have blocked that part out. That might have been my fault.
Either way, it is Arteta's 4th win of the season. He won in August, for November, December, and in January.
Yep. To answer your question, I actually think Arteta actually deserves this one. I don't think he deserved the January. No, that was January, February. January, December. I don't think he deserved the February one.
Well, he didn't win the February one. He won January.
Well, then I'm glad he didn't deserve it. Whatever one he was also paired with Unai, then it was the January one. I think that one he didn't deserve. But this one, I think, was full credit. He won all 4 of his matches that he played. I don't know how you don't win it if you win all 4 of your matches.
It was 4 wins, 4 matches, 4 wins, 14 goals.
I mean, how's that not deserving?
Also, to right the ship coming off of a down February.
Yeah.
To then go on that streak in the Prem. To open up a now 8-point lead, this is what Manager of the Month material is.
I think if we were talking about
that is interesting. Sorry, I wanted to find the stats from when he was. Yeah, it was January with Unai, and I think you and I agreed on that.
Yeah, but I
like Arteta. I think Arteta was good. I think Arteta won in January though, mostly because you went away at Spurs.
Yep.
And then the 3-2 win against United.
Yeah.
And that kind of carried it because it was big names.
Yes.
But I don't know if I necessarily agree. I also think Unai is one of those. I don't think he's going to get one this year. And that's kind of that's hard done. That is you're hard done by that. Potentially. I don't. This month could go a lot of. He is off to a good start. He's off to a great start. This month could go a lot of ways.
Yes, it can. It's packed this month for everybody.
If Arsenal wins this month out,
yeah,
it'll be Arteta again.
Oh, for sure. It's a popularity contest, but
Liverpool, City. Even if we draw City, if we draw away at the Etihad, but we win everything else, it's going to be Arteta again.
Probably.
And I think we might be primed to do that. It's tough.
Oh, certainly. He was deserving, and that's where we'll just leave it at for this month.
Yeah, hard to be more deserving. Yep. Newcastle just put another one past West Ham.
Jeez. West Ham get relegated.
Brentford match.
I'm kidding.
They might. They might.
Wait. Never mind. I'll save that for later. Nothing.
Okay.
I'll shut up.
Okay. Player of the month.
Yes.
This was a 6-man short list. Alexander Isak, Alexi McAllister, Tyrone Mings. Tyrone Mings, yeah. 2 clean sheets, bud. Mm-hmm.
Defenders never get it.
Bukayo Saka, Mohamed Salah, and Leandro Trossard.
Yeah.
And the winner was Bukayo Saka.
Yeah, well, I don't know what he did. I don't know what he did.
3 goals and 2 assists and 4 appearances.
What did Isak do? Because I think that personally would have been the one for me.
In the month of April. This is not going to let me go by...
Wait. I need to go backwards. March.
Yep, March. Sorry, I said April.
You did.
In the month of March.
I did it earlier.
Yeah, it's not going to let me go back. We got to go to...
It's fine. Don't worry about it. I think he had a couple goals and an assist, a couple assists. I think personally it would have been Isak for me. I would love to back my own player, trust me. But 2 clean sheets is not going to get you player of the month. Nobody cares about defenders.
I think that you're just happy to be there.
Yes. It's a nice little honor. You take it like a little clap, great, but you're not going to get it. You would have to have had scored a goal, assist, have 2 clean sheets to even be relative.
Tyrone Mings played 3, 1-2, drew 1 assist, 2 clean sheets.
Yeah,
McAllister played 3, 1-2, drew 1, 2 goals, 1 assist. Mm-hmm. Isak played 3, 1-2, lost 1, 3 goals. Salah had 3 goals, 2 assists, played 3, 1-2. Trossard had played 4, 1-4, 5 assists. And Saka had played 4, 1-4, 3 goals, 2 assists. The most impressive stat line there is Saka's.
Yeah. I would even say...
You could argue the most impressive stat line is Salah's.
I was going to say Salah.
But that Man United game doesn't count. They turned off. I don't care how many goals. Half his goals and assists are going to be from that.
Well,
Seriously, 2 goals and 2 assists are from that match.
Well, still got to score them. Still got to put them
in. You could have scored a goal against United that match. They completely turned off.
I appreciate you thinking that.
Oh, you absolutely could.
I don't have a problem with this one, I guess, either. I still think I want to lean Isak because I'm tired of Arsenal.
Better get used to it.
Really good, so I can't really say. I can't knock.
Well, again, played 4-1-4, 3 goals, 2 assists, spread them out.
And it also is the weight of goals too, so it's not like they were gimme goals like Mo Salah.
Mo Salah.
But I think that's where we've landed.
All right. We haven't gotten through all the sackings yet.
No, we haven't. Sack City.
Because Brendan Rodgers has been shown the door.
Yep. No. It's mutual. They shook hands and laughed.
Yeah. I'm going to pay you the rest of your contract to screw off.
Oh, yeah. I have been calling this for 2.5 years. Right after they didn't make it the second time they dropped out of Champions League's position, the final day, it's like 2 years in a row they did it. I said, this is enough. They gotta get rid of Rodgers.
Great example of how winning an FA Cup can really get you to stay around when you shouldn't.
Yep. That'll happen. He actually was the highest points earner outside of the top 6, whatever you want to throw top 6, your top 6 big clubs. I think it was like 222 points he picked up in the last, whatever his tenure was. That's a remarkable stat. And I get that's why you stay with him. Or stayed with him for as long as you did, and you didn't chop the axe when I suggested it. But results are, you could kind of see the ship starting to sink.
Yeah. Starting to.
Well, 2 years ago. And they were relying on Vardy. Vardy's 35 now.
Yeah, this is something they relied too much on him.
They tried Kelechi Iheanacho.
They brought no one in.
They brought in Patson Daka. He has been brutal. Madison, they never really got a cover for. Harvey Barnes is probably one of their best players outside of Madison right now at this current moment. They had defenders that were fleeting. Sun Yun-Chu was good for a year, and then he just fell apart. Johnny Evans is old.
How Woot Face is still
brutal.
How?
Suter, brutal. Ricardo Pereira's been injured. He scored a goal against who was it? Who was the match over the weekend? Drawing a blank. They lost 2-1.
Palace,
right. I think if they were able to pair Pereira and Castagna out on the right side, they'll be okay. At least on that side. So that's a lot of creativity. But the rest of their defense is just brutal.
Yeah, and I do think a lot of them are playing down. This is one of those teams where I think they're going to be fine if they get the right person. And again, a name that hasn't been said yet is Wilfred Ndidi.
Yeah,
he is not a world beater, but he's a lot better than he's been playing.
Yeah, I agree. So I don't know if you're going to get to this. I probably will. The question's there. Any of these clubs more desirable than the other? Because there is an obvious answer, but there's also a neat answer too.
All right. Before I answer, Man United ended up 1-0.
I see that. Yep.
Newcastle is now 5-1.
Jesus. Absolute murder.
Oh, get all your goals out now, boys. If I was a guy who just got paid a bunch of money to quit my old job, and I was offered all 3 of these jobs, I would probably say no.
Yeah.
If I had to pick one, I would pick Chelsea. If for nothing than knowing that I'm going to have plenty of financial backing to get what I want. I don't know how in my mind I could possibly think I'm going to go to Spurs and succeed where Jose Mourinho and Antonio Conte failed.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to take some. No.
Personally, they're the bottom for me. I'd rather take the Leicester one before.
Then Leicester is problematic because here's a relegation battle.
Yeah, have fun.
And we are not really buying players because we don't have money.
Yep, have fun.
We're being run by the kids of the guy who loved the team.
Yep.
And we have our own money problem. Sorry.
Yep.
If I knew that Leicester was going to go through like right now, I'd almost want to go to Southampton more. Hey, I'm going to drop down to the championship, but Southampton has a good scouting department, and there's going to be the base. And after a year or 2 in the championship, I will be back up in the Prem. And I'm not expected to do anything. We're just going to compete. We're going to do whatever. Spurs, I think I understand why Spurs did what they did. They wanted to look the part, and you got to look, dress for the job you want, look the part, and do other thing. And they had the biggest damn stadium, and they have the newest damn stadium, and they have the biggest, newest, and greatest training facilities. And they have all these things, but there's something just almost insidious about what goes on there that they can't win anything.
Definitely.
And I don't know if it's all Daniel Levy. And this is not me with my Arsenal hat on.
No,
yeah, but just my Red Sox hat. But Jose Mourinho and Antonio Conte, who literally win absolutely everywhere they go, could not get them across the line in anything.
Yep. I agree. I think Chelsea is probably you're playing in Champions League this year. You get a ton of money back.
You could Di Matteo it. Come in as interim manager and win the Champions League. Let's do this.
Did we ever state that?
What?
Who Chelsea's interim manager is going to be? I don't think we ever said that.
You're right. We were going to lead with it, and then we got distracted.
We did.
By the time this is out, it will probably be official. It's not official yet, but David Ornstein says that they're close. And if David Ornstein says they're close, that's almost as good as a here we go from Fabrizio. Chelsea, in the interim, are going to go back to Frank Lampard.
Let's go. Get relegated.
I hope to God. I don't know. They can't get relegated now.
No. Well,
because no. Bournemouth, Leicester City, and Southampton.
I guess not.
Well, not one.
They definitely couldn't.
Bournemouth, Nottingham Forest, Everton, and West Ham would all have to score, assuming Chelsea get no more. They would all have to score 12 more points.
Excuse me. Yeah, you're right.
I don't see 4 wins for all those teams. That ain't happening.
No.
They're not mathematically free from relegation, but it's one of those all those teams. And I think, they're fine. I think Lampard's going to win 6 or 7 on the trot, get the full-time contract, and then he'll get fired by Christmas.
Nuke him.
I can't believe that. Oh, we're going to take our time.
And then
are they just waiting? Like Enrique said he didn't want to come in. Are they just waiting for Enrique?
He was in London.
Did Nagelsmann say the same thing?
Possibly.
People had talked about that. I don't know if Nagelsmann said the same thing.
Do you think
I don't want to take anybody.
Do you think they're waiting for the summer to see what Ancelotti does?
If Ancelotti leaves Real Madrid, it's to coach the Brazilian national team.
Or Chelsea. And Chelsea.
I don't think so, man. That's crazy to me.
FIFA career, bud.
I don't know. I don't know why you'd ever walk away from managing Los Blancos.
I'm not saying that it would be willing. I'm not saying it's going to be willing. I think they would fire Ancelotti. He's been on the hot seat according to a bunch of people.
Yeah, I know, because it's Real Madrid and they're crazy.
Yes, exactly.
Both Real Madrid and Barcelona can constantly make fun of themselves, like each other.
Yeah.
And it's so weird to me. Because it's like you guys are you're having very opposite seasons. Like, but Real Madrid's doing great in the CL.
Yeah.
And Barcelona is not worried about the Champions League, so they're doing great at domestic. Like, that's usually how it works.
Yep.
All right. Sorry, my head hurts just trying to even think about who we would take over for that.
That's crazy. It's a lot of fun because it's just there's so many opportunities for anybody.
And the problem is Spurs is going to wait out and take whoever doesn't pick Chelsea. When it comes to the top 6, they're always the last dogs at the bowl.
Yep.
And
the malnourished puppy.
They got to do what, to a point, United did. Definitely what Arsenal did. What Chelsea tried to do.
Yeah.
With Lampard, but go get a young guy who's going to be a culture changer.
John Terry.
Who isn't being fought over different. No, John Terry's just going to yell, "Be better." Seriously. And I understand we struggle with Arteta, and it's not just, go find Arteta. That's not my point.
No.
But United is playing much better than they should have been playing for a lot of the season because they went and got Ten Hag. I still think United has wasted money in a lot of big places. I think the Antony signing was an absolute joke, and I think that they're being held together by the glue that goes by the name Casemiro.
It shows.
But for the most part, I think that they're doing a lot better because of that. Also, to everyone who said, look at who Newcastle's going to go to when they get rid of Eddie Howe. Why? Why would you do that?
It's such a dumb move if that were even to be thought of. I wouldn't even call you a Newcastle fan if you think that Eddie Howe deserves to get fired.
There's no way Newcastle fans think that. They're just happy. They're just happy that they're still here.
Hell yeah, they're in the third.
Newcastle just went into pretty much kind of bottom of the league. West Ham. The only reason why they're not bottom of the league is because of how tight the bottom of the league is.
And goal difference.
And won 5-1, and all their fans stayed behind and sang. It wasn't this whole, we're supposed to do this. They were happy. It's it was a rainy, cold night in London, and their team won 5-1, and that's all they care about. Let's move on to True False.
Let's move on to it.
Did you go first last time or me? It's been 2 weeks.
I believe you did.
All right, you can go first.
You didn't have any, and I made you go first.
No, that's true.
All right. True or false? All 3 relegation spots will come down to the last day.
True. It won't be between 8 teams, but it will probably be between 5 teams. I think going into Championship Sunday, the 20th team with a win and maybe even a lucky break can get themselves out of relegation.
I could see that.
And that's just going to make for fantastic TV.
Oh, this is going to be so much fun.
The beer garden's going to need to get more screens.
Hopping.
Do they have 10 screens? 1, 2, 3, 4.
No, I think they have
5, 6, 7 or 8. They're going to have to get more screens.
I agree.
Well, that's not true. That's not true. Who do Liverpool and Chelsea have?
I don't know.
The end of the season? I honestly, I kind of think that they're going to be locked into mid-level spots.
Probably. Hold on. Doing it right now. Finding it out. We're finding it out. Liverpool plays Southampton. Chelsea.
Oh, so it'll be a big one. Yeah, and they'll need that too because there'll be some Newcastle fans there. Not a lot, but there'll be some.
Yep.
And the Chelsea fans will be there probably.
Yep. Most certainly.
Oh man, I have no idea. Let's look.
Ooh, Villa and Brighton could be a fun matchup at the end. At Villa
Leeds Tottenham could end up meaning nothing.
Probably.
Leeds gets a couple more wins. Tottenham's dropping out of the top 4.
Uh-huh.
It could mean nothing. Just could.
There's 3 games on here that are definitely going to have an effect somewhere.
Well, I mean, almost all the games are going to have an effect.
I mean, how it could lay out. Crystal
All right,
Palace,
so
Nottingham Forest. Leeds.
Probably.
Oh, I'm sorry. Leicester City, West Ham.
Leicester City, West Ham could be enormous. Winner stay up. That could literally be a winner stay up.
Everton, Bournemouth. Those 3 matches are going to be.
That could also be a winner stay up. So everyone knows Arsenal, Wolves, and Brentford. Arsenal at home to Wolves, Man City away to Brentford. If I am one of those 2 teams, I do not want to be the team having to go into Brentford to win a match.
Nope.
Villa have Brighton at home.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Could I mean that could be Europa versus Conference League. That could be Conference League versus nothing.
It's true.
That could be a very big match.
Yeah.
Chelsea, Newcastle. My guess is it's not going to mean that much to Chelsea. It could secure top 4 for Newcastle.
That's where I was going with that. Yep.
Already talked about those. Leeds, Tottenham. Leeds, Tottenham's the only one that might not end up meaning anything. Tottenham might, of course. I don't know. I don't know if anyone's going to run away with it. Tottenham,
more for Leeds.
Maybe not. I can see Leeds being comfortably in 13th or 12th at that point. Could. Not saying will, could. Tottenham might still be playing for a European spot at that point.
Yeah, that's possible.
And then, United, Fulham. That's another one. Will probably mean more for United. I think at that point, Fulham will just be 10th or 11th.
Yeah. And
we will probably care because if Chelsea lose and Fulham win, Fulham might put Chelsea down in 11th and keep them there.
That would be comical.
But it's not going to actually monetarily mean anything.
Yeah, right.
And then Southampton takes on their sugar daddies. And that could be huge.
You know what?
Van Dijk lets a goal roll in.
Oh, my God.
To let Southampton stay up.
Stop it.
That would be amazing.
Send that to the FA right now. Write that up.
Yeah. Excuse me, scriptwriters. I have some ideas. There's a chance Arsenal, Wolves, and Brentford City might not mean anything.
That's true.
Because if whoever wins the league is decided by that point, I still think Wolves are going to be comfortably 13th, 12th, 11th in that area. Going into the final day, you know how I said it won't be all 8 teams? It'll be like 5 teams.
It's going to be all 8 teams.
I think Wolves is going to be one of the teams that gets to not go into the last day sweating.
Gotcha.
I don't. Because of a point or 2, it will probably be match week 37 that they secure staying in the Prem. I do not think that they're going to run away with it, but I think at the end of all of this, that's when they're going to be at their best.
Sure.
But yeah, no. Championship Sunday is going to be just, oh my God, what a day. What a day.
It's going to be mint.
All right. I'm going to go with my least favorite one first.
Sure.
Getting rid of no, you know what? All right, yeah, we're not going to get into it. We kind of got into it. I just realized you already answered it.
Okay.
Even at this late point in the season, getting rid of Rodgers was the right move for Leicester.
True. Financially. Because they couldn't afford to have Rodgers go down with them. No, seriously, though.
Can always and fire on top later. Of that, can always just fire him later.
The whole culture thing, I just things weren't gelling well. I think Rodgers.
It's false because you don't fire anyone this late. No. That's my thought process. Not that he deserved to be there, just you don't fire anyone that late. All right, hit me with your next one.
Okay, this one's going to be a way out in the left field. So you know who Romeo Beckham is, yeah?
Remind me real quick. Oh yes, duh. Sorry, got to lean a little more in the Beckham side of that, and then I'll get there. Anyway, yes.
So you know how he's playing for Brentford B squad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Romeo Beckham is going to be starting next season for Brentford.
False.
Okay, that's fine.
Because he's going to be starting next season for Chelsea.
We need the name.
No, just because I don't think he plays wing.
I'm going to be honest. I think it's like a wing midfield area. Yeah.
I don't think Thomas Frank is going to play him because his last name's Beckham. That's the only reason.
No, it's fair. I think I actually think having Romeo Beckham at Brentford is probably the best location he could have landed. Him being in the MLS when he was with Orlando City probably wasn't going to see enough development. And I think Brentford does well with their youngsters and develops them really well.
Well, and he'll probably just be starting for Inter Miami next year anyway.
Oh, you're right. It is Inter Miami. I was wrong. I knew it was a Florida team.
Bad squad.
Yeah, I knew it was a Florida team.
Inter Miami is the Beckham, the Beckham crew. Yeah. All right. There have been 12 firings in the Prem. A lot of people seem to be calling for Steve Cooper's head. There will be no more firings in the Premier League this year.
True. Where else would it be? I don't think it would be
Forest.
I don't think so. They signed him to a new contract in December.
West Ham just lost 5-1. I would not be surprised if David Moyes was.
Yeah.
We're going to try with Jesse Marsh, or we're going to try with Patrick Vieira, or we're going to try with Graham Potter, or we're going to try with,
stick something on the wall. I didn't think about David Moyes, and that probably might be the guy who gets fired.
Again, I think you would have fired him already.
They are probably just limping to the line, but that's why I say true. I just think that nobody else is going to get fired.
Hit me.
Grace. Graham Potter gets hired this year. Not only does he get hired, he gets hired by Leicester.
Okay, I think false that he gets hired this year. I think true that he does get hired by Leicester.
Okay.
I think that Leicester gets him.
Yeah.
But I think he needs a moment.
I think that would be a really good landing spot for him, honestly.
I agree. I think he needs to not do anything for a little while.
He needs a spa day.
He just tried to. He had 30 cats all running in opposite directions. And he just needs to relax. He needs a cruise and a drink package. All right, number 3 for me. If Arsenal win away at Anfield, that guarantees them the league.
I need to do research.
They have to play St. James's Place away, and they have City away. They're currently 8 points clear, and City have a match in hand.
And it's true. Because, again, I think that City is not caring, air quotes around that, about the league. They want Champions League. And that's what they're going to focus on the most. Pep needs Champions League. I think this year will be what he thinks is the year for it.
So Arsenal's running. This is assuming they win away at Anfield.
Yes, of course.
Next week, West Ham away from home, but West Ham just got absolutely slapped by Newcastle.
Bear clawed.
Southampton at home.
Yep.
City away.
Okay.
I think every Arsenal fan's going, that's a loss. I think if you ask most Arsenal fans in their head right now, we're 2 points clear. Because City will probably win their match in hand, and we will probably lose away at the Etihad.
Where is their match in hand from? I continue, and I'll just look.
Then Chelsea at home, Newcastle away, Brighton at home, Forest away, Wolves at home. Again, not over. Not saying it's over. But if Arsenal had the mental fortitude to go into Anfield and win, then I think that they are going to have the mentality to win the whole thing. Also, Arsenal gets to play every 6 to 7 days.
That's super helpful.
City has a game in hand.
Yep.
City has an FA Cup final.
Yep.
And City has Champions League.
They certainly do. Do you think they care about the FA Cup right now?
Yes, because they're facing the other side of Manchester.
Oh, I forgot. We've been bounced out for so long, I don't remember.
Have you figured out where their game in hand is yet?
No, I'm still clicking through. I'm in round 15, 16 now.
Huh.
It must be like a reschedule from FA Cup and all that sort of stuff, and I'm just not able to find it right now. Excuse me.
Yeah, but that's usually not the way they go about it.
Man, if we only had a City fan.
Yeah, right.
They just tell us immediately. I don't know. Do we really need to know?
Looks like it's probably West Ham.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's from round 28. It's from last week.
Oh, no kidding. Damn it. So why, man?
Because Fulham still needs to play Liverpool, City needs to play West Ham, and United need to play Brighton.
Son of a... Oh. I want that game to end out zeros. Speaking of zeros, did you see that was the third time a big club with Chelsea and Liverpool? It's the third time that has happened in PL history or history in general for soccer in the England. It was like Arsenal QPR in 93, 94. And
that what happened?
Went 0-0. This is top clubs. They said top clubs. Obviously, they're not playing top club style, but whatever.
Define top club.
Well, that's what I get it.
And then you're including QPR. Like, I get it's 93, but like, never mind.
I don't know. I thought it was weird too. I was like,
yeah, okay. That is one of those weird starts on a Tuesday against left-handers. He only. What is? Do you have a fourth?
Oh God, no! I just came up with.
All right, I have a fourth. I have a fourth. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Brighton and Hove Albion.
That's two teams.
We'll finish fourth.
Will they finish fourth? He asks.
They still have to play United.
So
they have 2 games in hand on Tottenham and a game in hand each on United and Newcastle. They are 7 points behind United.
I will say they do if they beat United.
No, big ifs. Big ifs. Big ifs.
So you just said if before and you're true false. Don't give me a big if.
Big ifs.
Fine. You want me
big
to lay
if
the ground?
True.
You want me to lay the ground? Do you want me to lay on the ground for this? Lay right in front of the train? Say false.
Yeah, I say false still.
I wanted to lean true. I really wanted to lean true just because I think it would be really interesting to have, 2 non-top 6 clubs.
Hey, we got Newcastle
for Champions League. That's what I'm saying.
Got Newcastle. That's good enough. I would like both non-Manchesters. Like, I would like to not have both Manchesters.
That would be the funniest thing in the world, but that'll never happen. So
also in before, Arsenal's not a top club. Anyway,
but
you got anything else you want to talk about?
Absolutely not. I'm pretty good. And I know you got to get Way West Stands here.
Yep, got to go do the Way West Stand. So I think we're going to end it there.
Yes.
He says an hour and 15 minutes in. If you are still here, thank you very much for listening. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on TikTok for as long as it's legal. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us. Yeah, no, that's it. If you want to find more of us, where?
Facebook.
Oh, yeah, we are on Facebook.
Yeah, we are.
Facebook's a thing.
Yeah.
If you want more of us, he does the Villa. I do the Way West Stand. I'm going to look exactly the way I look right now. So I'm going to record it exactly after I do this or right after I do this.
He looks beautiful is what listeners are.
Yeah, Mom always said I had a face for radio. If you like this and you like listening to guys talk about sports, please check out Wicked Good Sports, not just for other shows, but for At the Buzzer and Power Play and Bayou Breakdown and the Miami Minute and all those other shows that are wonderful that we all have. You can find Wicked Good Sports on all the places mentioned above, and I think even Twitter. So Brian loves Twitter for reasons past my understanding. All right. I'm excited. 9 more finals to go. Let's do this.
Give me 27 more points, Unai.
Woo! Have a good weekend, everybody.
Doodles. Well, guys, that was an episode of Swinging at Shins. We appreciate you for coming out and listening to us. If you guys want to hear or see more, we have links in the description below. We hope to hear from you soon and hear more about what you have to say.